I'd like to take a quick moment, if I could, to say something about this 2025 Rapids team. They are a group of uncommon men, as I say. We tell them, we call them rule breakers around here, but they are an uncommon group. And I say that because they've had to face a lot of different challenges this year. You know, the 3-goal lead in New England, where it's some tough decisions that don't go our way. Seattle at home, which we score a winner late, it doesn't go our way. Some different untimely injuries. But I will tell you this. The reason why they're probably one of the few, if only, MLS teams to ever beat 5 Mexican teams in a row. 4 last year, and you include this year as Santos. The reason why they do that, they are uncommon. They've bent without breaking. They stick together. They run for each other. They put Tijuana in a tough game the other night. They don't make excuses. And man, they make any fan and coaching staff proud. And one more note on that, we're not done yet. Cruz Azul is coming up. Maybe arguably the best Mexican team out there. And we love the opportunity. We have a lot to play for still in the tournament until we find out otherwise, and a lot to play for with still 2 other trophies out there, the Rocky Mountain Cup and MLS Cup.
We'll now go to questions. We'll prioritize one in the room, and then we'll go to Zoom.
Chris, Reggie, question for both of you. Elephant in the room, there have been 2 marquee Rapids, one that has officially left abroad in Cheeto Awazim, and one that's rumored to be leaving abroad in Georgi Mihailovic. Chris, from a coach and a mentor standpoint, and Reggie from a teammate and honestly a friend standpoint, is there something going on in the locker room that we should be aware of?
Well, I don't know why you'd ask that, but no, there's not. And Reggie can maybe talk further about that. And in terms of even the more recent one with Georgie, I think it's more appropriate when things become official that we talk more about that or even make a comment. But listen, I think what's most important to just say is that with whether it's Moyes, whether it's a Georgie potentially, with Cheeto, it was a personal reason with the family. His family was not living here. But some of these could be club record signings in the end, but this is part of the business. And hopefully, externally, nothing's made more than that. The only other thing I'd say is I saw Georgie yesterday, and it's a big hug to the player, and he's thanking me for helping him become a better player and person, and I thanked him for helping me become a better coach, and that was that. If it all works out, we're rooting for him, but we'll talk more about that when the time comes. But I think we should not start any nonsense like this, like internal stuff. It's a fair question, but no, I mean, Reggie can speak further and speak his mind.
Yeah, there's no question to Georgie's character, him as a person, him as a fighter on the field, him as a man, him as a husband, him as a parent. Like, he's a top guy, top player. There's nothing more that needs to be said about that. You know, it's football. We play in a business where things happen overnight and things happen quick. So, just to reiterate what Chris said, things happen, and there should be nothing further than that. Like, Georgie has been a joy to play with, to be around. Like, there's nothing more positive that can be said about the guy. So, if anything and if everything happens, we wish him all the best, and this team is going to keep trudging on. But he, great guy, great player. That's all I can say.
I appreciate you guys answering that. Not a fun question to ask, and I know not to answer. Moving forward, if there is a vacancy at the number 10 in the team, we've seen Ali Larraz have some success at that position, Connor Ronan, Sam Bassett in college. We've both talked about Sydney Wathuda. Who are some of the most creative 10s you think we have in the clubhouse right now?
Well, I think you said it right there. Sydney has played a lot of games with the second team and is heating up. He's doing really well. We know that any of our 6s, let's say, because none of them are those just only 6s, but Oliver, Cole Bassett, for sure can move up the pitch, and we've done with Sam Bassett in there, who understands the role comfortably well, and we've done it. Alex Harris can play that second striker, Darren Yappy, so we have a lot of options up there.
Playing the second striker, do you see that being a formational option you might look towards in lieu of just a traditional attacking mid?
Yeah, listen, we've repped some different structures and systems this year, and that is one we can, rely on. It's a seamless transition against the ball. We defend in the 4-4-2, 4-2-4. Very clear, not a whole lot more prep involved, just some different nuances, and yeah, we have the personnel to do so. So whether we do the 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2, it's just a matter of semantics because it's very much similar. Just different player profiles, you get different types of behaviors.
You mentioned Cruz Azul being knocked out of the next phase of the tournament. Obviously, you guys are going to go in, try to do what you did to Club America in LA last year and win this game. Are you going to be watching the scoreboards at all, or telling the players to just put the phones away? We're going into this as a clean game.
Well, yeah, listen, we're now reliant on some different results. We'll know some of those results tonight and some tomorrow night. So before kickoff, we will know if we have a chance to move on in the tournament. Right now, it looks like it's tough to do so, but we still have a chance. So we're preparing as if we have a chance, of course. And regardless, whatever we do, we will be stepping on the pitch to win against a really good team and test ourselves. Of course, if you're in the competition still, it can go look one way, and if it's the other way, we have to also use it as an opportunity for some other reasons. As 3 days later, we'll be in Minnesota for a huge game, so I think we can understand that we have to wait and see. But the preparation will be very, diligent, professional.
On the chance this is the Rapids' last match in Leagues Cup for 2025, how would you both characterize this year's iteration and the tournament on whole?
Meaning the structure of the tournament or the iteration?
How do you guys like Leagues Cup?
Yeah, go ahead, Reg.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously it's a great opportunity to play in. I wasn't here last year when obviously the Rapids made an incredible run, but obviously the format this year is a lot more cutthroat. So you think you kind of understand the severity of every point, every match, and I think you can definitely see the intensity throughout the games with that. So obviously we're going to approach it the same as we do every game with the intensity, the right mindset. But it's definitely an opportunity that I've really craved for a long time, and I've really earned and honored. So I really enjoy it.
Yeah, listen, we as coaches and players, we love this tournament. Tests us against the best Mexican teams, and I think that's no questions about it. The structure of it does make it really difficult to move on, and it's a very unorthodox type of structure. It makes it hard to move on, but that's part of it. It is cutthroat, and we'll accept that. But I prefer the fashion where you can move on in a more realistic way, where more teams can go, not 8 out of 36, let's say.
We will now go ahead and move to Zoom, starting with Braden Morse from the Denver Post. Braden?
Chris, Reggie, it's good to see you guys. It's for whatever reason, it's really hard to hear the questions that are being asked, so sorry if this has kind of been asked already, but once for both of you guys, once the Georgie move potentially is made official, given how sudden it is, the fact that it could be the third major departure this month, in the past month, just how do you, keep morale and belief as high as it can be with 9+ games to go?
Yeah, Braden, I think it's pretty simple. Our club has identified some really good players along the way. Our scouting department, upper management, is in the business of finding some great ones to bring to the club. And we always focus on what we have and the controllables. These types of situations, if it goes through, this happens. It's part of sport, especially when it enters into club record numbers. So we always focus on what we have. We have to move forward, and regardless, we move forward together. And I always know we move forward in ways and thinking to get better. Easier said than done, but that will be the mindset. So right now, Braden will talk more about that situation if it does get finalized. But there's only one way to move. My father always say, "Adelante," forward. So we go forward.
We'll go to Matt Pollard, Burgundy Way.
Thanks for the time. Reggie is one of the veterans on the team. What are do they kind of help keep the team together and make up for the likely absence of Georgie tomorrow, or on Thursday, excuse me? Thank you.
In reality, like, we have a good team here. Like I said, football happens overnight and things change, and everyone has to be prepared for the opportunity. We have a solid squad here of guys that are hungry and that fight on intensity and thrive. So, at the end of the day, if it happens, if everything goes through, it is what it is, and the next guy will step up. I've seen this situation a million times over my career, and all that requires is just consistency and belief that, we have the group of guys to do it, which we do. Chris has led, so many guys and improved them over the years to the point where, we feel confident for the next guy to earn that opportunity. So, I'm excited for what the future holds. And, if this all holds up, all the best to Georgie, as I said before. But this team has something here. There's a real identity that this group has going for it. So it's only going to get better from here.